Hey guys, how's it going? It's Brandy, Carson's mom, and I'm going to be doing another takeover of the vlog today. Today I'm going to be talking about a really important issue with my daughter Kenna. Here she is now. Okay, so today we're going to be talking to you about something a little bit more on the serious side, just to be talking about Kenna's experience and what she went through, and then we're hoping that what we talk about can help anybody who might be going through a similar situation.
Absolutely, Brandy.
So all of you guys hopefully know Kenna, who's Carson's sister. Kenna's 19 years old, and she just got back from Thailand where she was teaching English. So she's back. She's getting ready to go to Romania to work in an orphanage. So her life has come a long ways from where she was at the time we're going to talk about, which was when she was in 8th grade?
8th grade.
8th grade. So junior,
14
years old. So junior high is just such a, don't you think junior high is the hardest time that you kind of go through?
It's crap.
It's crap. It really is. Like,
So,
if you think about your whole life, what was your hardest time during your life?
8th grade.
8th grade? As far as, when I say hard, I mean as far as like being insecure about yourself, kind of trying to figure yourself out and all that kind of stuff.
Because everything's so confusing at that time. You don't understand anything. You don't understand boys. You don't understand yourself. You don't even understand dogs.
Yeah.
It's just hard.
It's just it's a confusing time. It's just a transitionary time, I would say. So everything was going like seriously so awesome in Kenna's life up to that point. She was a 4.0 honor roll student. She was like happy. She was healthy. She was like rocking and rolling. She was on the swim team kicking some butt. And she was like seriously doing amazing. So why don't you talk about what happened? So basically what ended up happening, just to kind of summarize and let you guys know before we tell the whole story, is Kenna went from doing awesome and wonderful and happy to being severely anorexic and in the hospital near death. So how did that happen? Like, how did you go from one day everything's fine to that? And it happened in such a short time too. It happened in about like a 4-month period. I would say she started out at about
100 pounds.
100 pounds?
Yeah, I know I started at exactly 100 pounds because that's when I started getting a little obsessive and like weighing myself. And then in just 4 months, I went from 100 pounds to 72 pounds. Just really kind of lost control of what I thought I had, taken care of and stuff, but it just happened really fast.
So do you think it was when you saw that 100 on the scale that triggered it, or do you think it was something different? Because one thing I noticed during that time is she started to be on social media, where she wasn't really on social media before. So do you think that played a part, like Pinterest and going on Instagram and seeing all these perfect people?
Right. Yeah, that's probably not a huge part to do with it. And then before that time, I hadn't really thought about like my body image, it wasn't really an issue for me. And then, I don't know, people were just starting to get more mature and stuff, and then something I had never really paid attention to, consumed everything. And so social media played a huge part in that probably for me. I don't know, Pinterest was because I kind of am very OCD, so then I started doing workouts and stuff, and with something so innocent as working out, that lost control because I was doing that all the time.
Yeah, it seems like every time I saw you, you were working out.
Yeah, and I hated working out. No one freaking works out.
Yeah, she went from not working out other than the swim team to everywhere we would go. We would go to Carson's practice or something, and the whole time that he's at football practice, she'd be running around the field, and I'm like, geez, all right, I guess she's maybe gonna try out for the track team. I don't know what's going on here.
I don't know. So working out, and then after that, I just started totally limiting my intake on consumption of food. I wasn't paying attention. Well, I was, every detail of it I was paying attention to. I would stay up at nights just totally overthinking everything, basically from what I was gonna eat tomorrow to how much calories that would add up to. I remember sitting in math class, and instead of doing problems on my whiteboard, I was drawing my meal plan for the next day. Totally just thinking about that. And then I'd get home and I'd make sure that I know, okay, well today all I've had would be an Eggo waffle, and then I had yogurt, 3 bites of yogurt and a water for lunch today, and that's all I've had. So that's probably around 250 calories tops. So I'm gonna work out on the treadmill and run until I have 400 calories, just so I know I miss that, and then I'd eat normal dinner so no one really knew.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, she did a really good job at hiding it from us, and we noticed that her weight was going down, but it was weird because at first it didn't really start to go down that much, and then as soon as it started going down, it just like started plummeting down.
Right. Yeah.
Like I remember one time we went to McDonald's and Dad was like, we are not leaving McDonald's until you eat one thing off the menu here. And she was literally crying practically as an 8th grader on the floor of McDonald's because she had to eat one thing off the menu.
McDonald's is bad for you.
So what ended up happening is she went really out of control. She ended up in the hospital, so we took her to the hospital, a local really good hospital, and they admitted her immediately. They put a feeding tube in through her nose, and they started pumping her full of, I don't even know, just like nutrients, I guess, and then she had to eat on top of that. So what do you think was the turning point for you where it was like, this is crazy, like I want my life back?
Probably while I was in the hospital. Honestly, it wasn't really like, I knew it was annoying. It was really annoying for me to like count everything and just prep for everything and food I'd have to come across that day. Then it just was like, I'd be taking baths every second because I'd be so cold, and I'd have bruises all over my legs from my knees banging against each other from the bones at night, and I'd be like, I'm still not skinny enough, and it just became so like life, it just took over everything. That was a huge thing. And then once I started getting nutrients back from the feeding tube is when I probably was able to be like, oh, what the heck was I doing? Like I hadn't really thought about what I was doing to my body before.
That was one thing that the doctor told us, is that when you are depriving yourself of nutrients, it's not even possible for your brain to get you back to the point to start thinking rationally. Mm-hmm. And so as soon as she started getting that food in her body, she's like, I like food. I feel so much better now that I'm eating. And so that's one thing that I would encourage people is your body needs food. Like, how do you feel now compared to how you felt then?
Oh, 100%. It's like, I know I'm not like totally fit. I never work out, but it's like looking back at where I was, like skinny is not everything. That is such a true saying. It's like, but like now just being able to have like nutrients and stuff, I'm just able to be like, not even think about, oh, I should like do something, you know. It's just like I totally feel happy being me, and I'm able to do everything. I sleep better, I eat better. Mm-hmm. I'm able to move. I'm not freezing and getting sick every day, not growing hair all over my body to keep my body warm, you know.
Yeah, her whole body started to grow hair all over it, like a thick coat of hair, like
gross.
Her stomach, her back, her chest, everything. She was turning into like a gorilla basically. Then one day, so we went up to a doctor's visit, and they weighed her, and they're like, oh, she's not really gaining that much weight, and then she needs to keep her feeding tube. And so I just sat her down. McKenna's a person who, once she decides to do something, like, it's gonna happen, whether for better or for worse. If she wants to go down to 70 pounds in a month, she's gonna do it. Or if she wants to get healthy in a month, she's gonna do it. And so we had taken the train to the hospital because it was a stormy day, and I just sat her down on the train and I said, Kenna, are you gonna get better? Like, are you committed to getting better and being healthy? Like, let's talk about it. She decided she was. So right there in the train, she pulled her feeding tube out of her nose. I'm sure everyone on that train was like, what is wrong with these people?
It's freeing.
But she's never looked back. Like, she's never had any other issues. And one other thing that I really wanted to talk about, because I think it's important too. So now that she's 19 years old, she's dated a lot of boys. A lot of boys.
No.
Kind of a lot. Too many boys. And have you, like, as you've dated these boys, have you ever had a boy say to you, like, anything about your body?
No.
Like, do you think they even really care at the end of the day? Or do you think they just, like, want a healthy, happy girl?
I should hope so. If not, you're hanging out with the wrong boys, sisters. Get out of there.
Yeah, it should be.
Because that boy's too immature.
And they should love you for who you are. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's true. So that's kind of her story. I mean, it's not like she suffered with it for a long time, but we just wanted to share it because it was crazy, and it was just, it's just crazy how things can happen like that. Like, one day you're totally fine, and then a seed plants in your head, and you're like, and I think all of us suffer with body image issues. Mm-hmm. I mean, no matter how good you look, even supermodels suffer with body image issues. Even people who are sometimes totally secure with their body, they suffer too. We all do it. But really, we just need to love ourselves, because we're all different and we're all special, and we all look good, right? So what would be
good, boo boo?
So what would be your advice to somebody who's suffering with an eating disorder or something like body image issues?
Okay, what I would say is that at the end of the day, no one can define if you're beautiful or not. No one has a perfect description of what beauty is. And I think confidence is the real beauty and what you make it. Like it doesn't matter what clothes you have or if you're wearing makeup that day or whatever. If you're going around being a good person and just smiling, being happy, that's beautiful, I think.
Yeah.
So beauty's what you make it. No one has to tell you what you are, or you don't have to think you're not something that everyone has already inside of them.
Yeah, and I think that there's like this old saying that beauty comes from the inside, and that's so true, because I think if you feel beautiful on the inside, that like comes out in you.
Mm-hmm.
Like as we've been looking at this, watching this video, I've shown some pictures of Kenna. She was anorexic, and I think you can tell that now she's so much more confident and so much more happy just overall in her life, just right. And it's just like you kind of lose that glow when you don't love yourself, right?
Valid.
One other thing I want to say, and then this will really be it. As you're a teenager and you're like 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, whatever, kind of in those difficult years, and you just feel like you want to give up, and you just feel like your life's never going to get better. Is that not the furthest thing from the truth as you get older and the people around you get older and more mature?
Oh yeah, that's like, it's hard to see when you're in that moment. But once you get out of that and everyone starts maturing, you mature, you know, you start understanding what life's really about. That is like the farthest from your problems, you know. That's just something like everyone, you just become to accept yourself. And then once you choose to accept yourself, I feel like everyone starts to accept you. Whether no one has to accept you, but you know.
Because there's even times in your life where you felt like giving up.
Yeah, I think everyone has.
Yeah. And aren't you so glad you didn't? I'm glad.
For now.
Well, we just wanted to let everybody know that we think no matter what, that you're beautiful and you're good enough and you're smart enough, and man, people like you, right?
Oh, I like you.
So whatever you're going through, just know that there's other people that go through it. I mean, I'm saying this because I'm her mom, and so I'm definitely a little bit prejudiced, but I think she's so beautiful, and I think she's smart and talented, and there's been so many times that she hasn't seen that in herself. So for her to look in the mirror and think she looks awful, this is crazy to us out there who are looking at her and saying, oh my gosh, I wish I looked like her.
It's
so
this video now.
But that's how it is for all of us. We don't see ourselves for what we are.
Yeah. 100%.
Right? Like, I bet she thinks I look better than I think I look. I think she looks better than like she looks. And I bet you don't think you look as good as you do. But it doesn't matter, because it's what's on the inside and the person that you are. Right?
Right.
That's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you love yourself. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.